the mafia behind, i.e. organized crime, behind the wig industry that calls itself from Brazil. This is all one big scam. There is no such thing as a kosher wig. You have a wig in your house, you have something that was used as a sacrifice in your house.
אין מצב כזה, המקומיים בברזיל לא נותנים לראות את השיער מאיפה שגוזרים אותם.
Hi, Shalom Racha. So, since we already did all the work and everything's available in that guide, there's no point of repeating the whole thing, but I'll just get to the point and make it short. There is no such thing as a kosher wig that's coming from real hair. It does not exist. That's a conclusion, that's a fact, and no one in the world can prove otherwise. And the reason why is because in order to supply the entire market of wigs, there has to be a steady supply of real hair. And there is no civilization on planet Earth, aside from the Hindus, that does such a thing. Not for money, not for otherwise. That could suffice for the market. So even if you find some videos of some people from Indonesia or from Mongolia or from wherever that are cutting their hairs and selling it, this does not even supply 1% of 1% of the entire market. So the overwhelming majority, and by overwhelming majority I mean over 95% of the wigs that are in the world today, and will continue being in the world today, are coming from the steady source of real hair, which is from India, which has the perfect recipe for this disaster. Number one, 25 to 50 million of these people from India donate their hair as part of their Avodah Zara. There is no other place that could supply such a huge amount of hair that's even remotely close to it, even if it's for money. Simply, doesn't exist. So 25 to 50 million are donating their hair as part of their idolatry. But that also means, even if somebody would say, no, we got the people from Brazil, which will never happen. We got the people from wherever that are selling their hair, that will suffice, let's say at best case scenario, for 1 year to supply the market. But that means that market from, I don't know, let's just say all of the women in Brazil shaved their head, okay? Even if all of them shaved their head, everybody became bald for a year, okay? But they're gonna stay bald for another 10 to 15 years before they're able to sell another wig again. Meaning that even if somebody found another source, that source dies out after 1 year and is no longer able to supply the market for another 15 years or so. Which is the reason why India is the perfect recipe, because since it's their religion, they have a steady stream of people that are doing it, and they also have the population. So even after those 25 to 50 million people are donating their hair, and they need another 10 to 15 years to supply again, there is another 25 to 50 million the following year, and then another one the following year, and the following year, and the following year, because they have 1.5 billion people. So they have more than enough to supply the market in perpetuity. So that's number one. Number two, any of the wigs that are saying they come from Brazil, they come from Mongolia, they come from wherever, all these different strange places, that's just a trade secret that unfortunately people that are not in the business world are not familiar with. Anytime you transfer goods from one place to another, let's say I transfer a shirt from China to Italy. If I add another thread to that shirt, I can now say that the shirt is made in Italy. The same concept goes with the wigs. Once I transfer it from India to wherever I transfer it, if I add one string into that wig, I can officially say it comes from that new country, even though the truth is it's obviously coming from India. So that's why it says different places. Third, in the rare cases that they do supply hair from other places, it doesn't sell because the quality of the hair, which is the third recipe for the disaster, the quality of the hair, Remy hair, exists in India. It does not. It's not the same in China or any else in the world. They have a very, very unique hair in India that is in essence the best quality hair for these types of things. And the hair in China is simply not a good hair. No one on it. Now, in the rare cases where somebody decides I'm going to buy from China anyway, they should know that they're still buying it from dead people, because Chinese people do not shave their long hair to sell it for money. But they allow themselves to simply disrespect their dead, because they have no value for life, and they simply shave it off of dead people, and that's also forbidden. So whether it's coming from the dead people, if it's coming from idolatry with different types of trade secrets, the reality is it is impossible, 100% impossible, to ever say that the kosher wig market is legitimately kosher. It's all a fraud. It's the biggest scam in the world, and unfortunately, it's just not possible. Now, in the case where a woman says, no, I have a friend that wants to donate her hair. Fine, you'll have to find 3 friends, because each wig requires 3 heads, not 1 head. So this makes it a very, very difficult proposition, difficult situation, and especially when you look at it as a market situation, it's impossible to supply the market. You can supply case-by-case basis. Let's say one woman wants to shave her own head and put it back on her head, or one woman has 3, women that are willing to shave their head and make her a wig, and that's going to last a few years. Yeah, you have rare cases, but you cannot supply a market with this. You cannot supply stores. You cannot even supply a neighborhood. And these are all facts. These are not speculations. I remember I wasn't born a rabbi. I was in the markets for nearly 2 decades. I know everything about the markets and how they work.
These 2 companies have a huge opportunity. There are only 2 companies in an entire sector.
We looked at the different trading documentation from that are available in different places, how they go, what they go, who's actually getting the hair. There's even a video in the playlist that we have on that guide that actually shows some of the things that I'm telling you, such as the mafia behind, i.e. organized crime, behind the wig industry that calls itself from Brazil. This is all one big scam. There is no such thing as a kosher wig. If you have a wig in your house, you have something that was used as a sacrifice in your house. And we have a commandment to remove Amalek from our life. Remove Amalek from your life. Kol tuv.
אין מצב כזה, המקומיים בברזיל לא נותנים לראות את השיער מאיפה שגוזרים אותם, ממש לא. אף אחד, אין מצב כזה, זה מאפיות שם, נו. זה לא נותנים.
הם שולטים שם על המקום והם לא נותנים לאף אחד...
לא פזרים קוקו ומביאים לך את זה, מביאים קילוים של שיערות, זה לא, מבינה, זה לא משהו הגיוני בכלל. זה מדובר באלפי קילו. גם הסוכנים הישראלים הגדולים שמביאים שיער לא יכולים לראות את זה. הם לא נותנים, הם לא מאפשרים, המקומיים שם בברזיל לא מאפשרים את זה. מי שאומר לך את זה זה פשוט שקר, אני אומרת לך הכי בכנות. אני לא הולכת וגוזרת שיער, זה מה שאני באה להסביר לך.
את לא הולכת לעיירות, יש שם מאפיה או משהו? זה מסוכן בשבילי, בוא נגיד הלכת.
לגזור שיער, אני לא הולכת.
לגזור שם שיער?
את? בשום פנים ואופן. את לא יכולה. לא את ולא אני ולא אנשים מאוד מאוד גדולים. הם אנשים מאוד מאוד מסוכנים.
יש אנשים שאומרים שהם הולכים פעמיות והם גוזרים לבד, זה לא נכון?
שקר וחזב. שקר וחזב. אוי ואבוי למישהו אומר כזה דבר, זה ממש שקר.